Right now, we're working from home, in our kitchens and on our dining room tables. What we want to do is lift everything off the table and into a successful home office. Whether you have a small or large space, we want to give you the tips and tricks to help you be successful. We're combining our shared industry expertise to help you be more organized, more productive, all while looking good. In each episode, we'll help renovate their home office workspace. Our mission is for you to be the best and most productive you, all while looking good. All right, welcome to another episode of the Home Office for Success series. We have Megan with us. Megan, welcome.
Thank you. Hello.
Good to have you here now. Obviously, we're here for your home office and taking a look at how we can help improve it. But I'd love to first know a bit more about one, yourself, and two, your space at the same time.
Okay, yeah. So what I do is I am a life coach. My journey here is I started off my working career as a CPA, and then I eventually started a restaurant called Kanga with my friend. We grew it to a bunch of locations. So I've been working for myself for, I don't know, like 7 or 8 years now. And then we sold that in 2018. And then I did some stuff with financial planning and money coaching. And now I am actually a life coach. So I mostly work with people who are starting a business or people who want to start a business. So that's what I do. What my work actually looks like if you were a fly on the wall, is I have phone calls. So with some clients, I just do phone and no Zoom. And then with half of my clients, I do a Zoom conference call. So I completely work from home. I always was going to work from home completely, even like pre-COVID. Like it is meant to just be all remote. And where I work is in the basement of my home. There is a tiny bit of natural light like over there through the door. So there's like a basement walkout. The rest of the basement is like, so I'm like, if the basement was a square, I'm like taking up like this much of the corner of the space. My office is a hodgepodge of tables and things that I have put together. And I'm excited for a bit of a facelift. Do you want me to tell you a little bit more about what I'm looking for in an office, or?
Yeah, and what's your current challenges and what are you kind of looking for?
Okay, yeah. So my current challenges are ergonomics for sure. I've done a few things to change that. So often at the end of the day, my neck hurts a little bit. That is definitely getting better as I've implemented a few things, which I'll show you. And other challenges are just like, it's pretty, not a lot of natural light, no like plants or anything, because I don't even know if anything could survive down here. I would love to have a bit of a background, not a busy background, because like, for example, like I can see in yours, there's like books, and like, I kind of want to look at what books might be in there, stuff like that. Like I wouldn't want anything like with words that people can be distracted by, or like any kind of quotes or anything like that, because I want them to be like listening to me, what I'm saying, and looking at me. So I love to like have a bit of something in the back, but nothing distracting whatsoever.
Got it. That makes
And
sense.
so what are you thinking of what I have in the background?
I personally find that like too much. There's too many things there, and like I'm kind of curious about a few of the things. So I would like something like very simple, like maybe like a plant and a painting of an animal or something like so streamlined and basic, just to make it like aesthetically pleasing, but not pique your curiosity at all about like what anything is. Not to say that like anything behind you is like not nice or anything like that. It's just so just be very, also like my aesthetic is just very, very minimalist. Like my whole house is like very plain, not like plain in a bad way, but it's very minimalist. There's not a lot of things on the wall. Everything's painted white. So yeah, it's kind of funny that I say that though, because as I'm looking around my office, I didn't realize my office was going to be in this recording. I don't know why. I don't know what I envisioned, but it's very messy right now.
That's all right.
But
well,
my background is not messy.
we have the photos that you submitted before, so that's what I'm working with.
Okay.
Can you walk me through your space? Not physically,
Yeah.
but let me know. Like I see a whole bunch of shelving. Is that required?
Or even if you can move the laptop, if that's
Yeah,
possible.
okay, that's exactly what I was gonna do. Okay, so this is where I'm sitting, and this is my office. I don't know if you can see that. Can you see that? Okay.
Yep.
Okay, and I also just bought this thing, which I should move. One sec, sorry. Okay, let me see what you're seeing.
So I
So
see
there's
the
like
ceiling has pot lights. I see
Yeah,
your
the
chair
ceiling has
with
pot
a jacket over it.
yeah, there's just like a couple of jackets over my chair because it's cold down here sometimes. This is my desk here, so there's like a couple of monitors. There's a cork board over there, and this is like what my desk looks like over here. So like, I just use this as like a stand, which is like literally 2 boxes, and then I put my computer on that to raise it up.
And do you use the 2 monitors or just one?
I use both monitors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So both monitors and the laptop, or just both monitors?
Both monitors and the laptop.
Okay, so 3 screens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though honestly, I don't even know why I do that now. That is really weird when I think about it. I don't need 3 monitors. Like I could just, yeah, I don't know why I didn't do that, but I don't really need my laptop. Except maybe for sound, I'm not sure. And then do you want to see like the rest of the basement, or you're good?
No, but I'm curious about the shelving with all that stuff on it. What
Yeah,
is
that's like here. That's like what I face. This stuff?
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. What is that?
Oh, it's just like all of our things. Not all of our things, but a lot of our.
It's a storage area?
Yeah. There's like books and children's toys.
So
and like,
it's not related to your business?
Correct. Not related to my business.
Okay.
Okay, and with that space, the storage area, obviously there are things there. Do you want those to be left over there? Do you want to kind of rearrange it?
I don't know if I'm just going to set you guys down. Is there anything else you want me to walk around and see?
No. Walking around is okay for now, yeah.
Well, I don't really know where I would put all that stuff, actually, if I needed to clear out the shelf. So, yeah, it probably needs to stay in there.
So you said, and I've read everything a few times. So the family comes down and plays? Like you have little kids?
Not while I'm working.
No, but just describe the flow of the space, the timeline of the space.
Yeah, so like nobody really comes down during the day. Axel, my son Axel, so I have 1 2-year-old boy. He used to come down here and play sometimes. He doesn't anymore though, because now we have a nanny and he gets taken outside and we never take him down here. So yeah, he doesn't really play here anymore now that I think about it, but he used to. Not when I'm working, but like other times he might come down and play.
But the rest of the family, you say you have a husband who's quite handy, if I recall correctly. He does it. I'm trying to find the relationship between the sofa and the TV. Is the TV
the sofa and the TV
logo, or what do you use the TV?
No, we've used the TV about like 2 times this year, maybe. One time we played Wii on it, and the sofa is for playing Wii and like playing video games and stuff, which, yeah, maybe we've done once or twice this year. So it is used.
Do you have an area upstairs that you use for?
We have a TV upstairs.
Okay.
But not for games and stuff.
So this TV isn't used for work or anything like that?
Correct. It's used only for playing Wii twice a year.
Okay.
And do you foresee it being used more or just pretty much the same? Okay.
So are those things like the TV and the sofa up for negotiation?
The TV? Maybe the sofa, probably not, because like we wouldn't have anywhere else to put it, and like we just use it for guests sometimes. Like I think we've used it once before for guests, but we'd want to keep the sofa. Yeah, the TV, I think I can negotiate that away.
Yeah, but is the sofa used as part of a guest room, or when people stay over, or is that, or is it just use it for seating?
No, it's used as sleeping area when people come over.
Okay.
I forgot about that because it like we have another guest room. That's why like we barely ever use like the basement for guests, but we have like once before.
Gotcha.
So this is a multifunctional space, but primarily it's used for an office.
Yes.
I guess 90% of the time. Would that be accurate?
More, like 97 or 98% of the time it's used as
and it's used for storage.
Correct? Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to look at the photos. I need to tell Najeeb what I'm up to.
What we'll do is we'll dive right into the space itself. Okay, so recording again. So over here we have the images that you have sent us, Megan, from the desk from different angles, and right beside is the floor plan. So down over here in this corner is the desk, your current home office space. You have the TV right behind you, the electrical panel, closet. So what we've done is basically copied it over. So we have the floor plan with the empty space right over here.
It's no surprise what I'm going to tell you. It's visually cluttered. So for me, being a visual person, a supremely visual person, it's so noisy that it's screaming at me, and I'm already anxious about the whole thing. If I were to work in that, I would not be a very happy person. I would not even be productive. So first off, I would love you to consider covering over this space. It can be drapery, or else you can invest in some cupboard. I know that you like IKEA, so all of these things are available.
But Dolores, sorry, what are you referring to?
The shelving right here.
Oh, okay,
so
okay.
What you're seeing,
you're up there. Okay.
Even if you're not going to be looking at it, it's just visually very cluttered, and it would, for me, it wouldn't be conducive to a life coach experience. I think a life coach should be optimally experiencing a good life as well. I mean, so for me, especially, I don't think you want to have anybody screaming at you, and that's how visually this occurs for me. So you see my little pencil. So I would really highly recommend 99% covering this over. You can make drapes, you can tack on drapes, you can buy IKEA cupboards. And then I'd also like you to use more of your vertical space so that you can be a little bit more organized. So once these are covered over, you'll find that life proceeds very well. And you can also use the bicycles as objects of art, objet art. So there are a lot of people that hang their bicycles either vertically or horizontally, and actually use them as a piece of art to look at. And a lot of bicycles are quite beautiful. So for me, that's the first thing I would do, even with beyond planning or anything like that. That's what I would do.
Okay.
So that's like an easy fix. There's different price points you can approach it at, but the more sophisticated, the better. And then, like I said, when you've got your client in front of you on the screen, and then behind you, what you see is some objects that are screaming at you. So for me, that would almost be like my client screaming at me. That's how visually I would experience that interaction. So that's what I would do, is just close that off completely.
Okay.
I'm gonna need, yeah.
The other benefit.
Photos I can only see. So here at the desk, so there's a variety of situations, and with all situations, no matter how much we try to get rid of paper and clutter, there it is. So you actually, in this little spot, have a lot of area beneath the desks. So I would highly recommend buying rolling file cabinets, 2-high rolling file cabinets, or stationary filing cabinets that fit under the tables. Yeah. And that will clean up things tremendously. I'd also recommend, I'm going to draw now, but I'd also recommend perhaps a larger, more decorative board as opposed to propping it up. So I would have a tendency to get rid of this or reposition it somewhere where you don't, because right now you're pretty boxed in, but you're boxed in not in a very attractive manner. So you could even box yourself in if you wanted to with a longer desk, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Then have a much more decorative board and then find another home for this so that your clients don't see it or people don't see it for that matter. And so here, I don't know what this is underneath. Is that something useful or under the desk with the photo here? What is that?
No, I think those were slippers, but they're not there at the moment.
Cool. Yeah. So, you know, in terms of visual clutter, if you can reposition the modem and then try to clean up the wiring somehow. I don't know if you can position it under the table so that you minimize the wiring and the potential of tripping hazard, which is not very safe as well. And with respect to, you're saying that your neck hurts and at the end of the day, you're not a very happy person with, your body isn't very happy. Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've done a few things that I think are helping.
Okay, like what?
Like raising my monitor slightly, like by putting another box underneath it. And then also like I'm literally just putting my feet on like a box. That's what my husband said. He was like, you need to like raise your feet up.
He's quite right, but there's a lot of gizmos that, so for example, I've raised my laptop and how I've raised it is that it, again, budget seems to be a concern. So let's elevate the experience from boxes. And I have a very simple acrylic loop that's made to lift laptops off the desk.
Cool.
Does that make sense? I could show it to you.
Yeah, I'd love to see it.
So can you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's called an eye curve. I don't know if you can still get it, but there are various solutions, and all you have to do is, everybody, like from IKEA, Home Depot, Staples, everybody on the planet has some kind of solution that raises the laptop, and then you can even buy one that has cubbies in it for paper and pencils. I mean, there's so many solutions that are just awesome. And I'm an organizational freak, so I know everything about where to get stuff because it matters to me. And then obviously you have a separate keyboard. And how's your chair?
I don't know. It's like from IKEA. It's very old, and I think it's not anything specifically ergonomic or anything. It swivels, and so yeah, it's just like a $100 IKEA chair.
So I would, and it's also too fluffy and too spongy, and it doesn't look like, I can tell you what's wrong with it. It doesn't give you any back support. So quite frankly, I would invest in a great ergonomic chair.
Okay.
That thing would last you forever, and then you can also leave it to your kids when you pass away. I mean, you need something that goes up and down and swivels, and it'll last forever. But that thing is, I can tell you right now, they're probably having back problems and all sorts of things. And then your husband is quite correct. You can buy things that put your feet on an angle or raise your feet up. So they do make products that way. I don't know if IKEA has it. I haven't ever seen any, but
there are different options, but in terms
human
of
scale and all that. Pardon me?
Yeah, so there are different options, but in terms of ergonomics, the one thing that I could see from your chair automatically is just the arm height over here.
Yeah.
It's just a weird angle, right? So this is more meant for, perhaps you have it as part of like a boardroom where people are just sitting and like people are just meeting. But if you think about what you're doing, Megan, you're spending majority of your time, if not 8 hours a day, if not more, on this chair, right? So if you also think about it, it's kind of more time that typically what an average person spends sleeping in their bed, right? So you want to make sure you're investing in an ergonomic chair. One, when it comes to the arm height is hugely important. So typically what you want to do is you want to make sure arm height lines up with the height of the table, because that makes it like a seamless transition. The other thing from an
or under the table, so it tucks under the table, or I have no arms on my chair. I can actually lift them up to have arms and then bring them down, but I just find that I'm happier and more mobile if I have no arms at all. And it's a designer chair that my claim to fame is that it's on Star Trek Next Generation and the engineering deck. You know, I have to have it, but I would advise against anyone buying it for a variety of reasons. Myself, if I were to do it again, I would buy what I tell my clients to do is I would buy a mesh chair, because mesh chairs breathe. And it's worth anywhere from $500 to $900 to $1,500 if you want to spend that much to buy a good ergonomic chair that's registered as a good ergonomic chair. So the Aeron chair by Herman Miller that the Raptors use are available in various widths, but it'll last you a lifetime. It's an art piece. Even the Aeron chair is in the Museum of Modern Art. It's really worth the expense. You can save in a lot of areas, but I would never ever ask anybody to have a bad chair. Have a great chair and invest. Yeah.
So now, with the interest of
and
time,
you look
just with the interest of time, a few things we'll just lightly touch on it, and then we'll go into like designing the workspace. It's a good thing that you've kind of looked into using the laptop and raising the height up. Now, the other thing that you could do is right now, there is a secondary arm that you can attach to your table that attaches the monitor. So depending on your budget, if you want to just stick with having a laptop, just using this both setup, you can have it on one arm and it connects both of it so that height is perfect. And that leaves the room underneath completely open, right? So that's one option you could do. The other is, of course, instead of having two separate monitors, have one large white screen. Again, depends on your budget. But some of the minor stuff that you can do is have a trackpad on the left side. So because typically we use the mouse with our right hand, so on your left hand you can have a trackpad and just have an ergonomic keyboard. So those are like a few things that'll help from an ergonomic point of view. But what we'll do now is we'll kind of look into the space itself and look into the designing of it. So
Najeeb, can we discuss lighting first?
Yeah.
Because this would be one of the setups. I've already mentioned kind of furniture modifications. But if you're wanting to do Zoom and you're committed to that as a backdrop, ring lights, you're more of an expert on lighting. It is an absolute must if you do Zoom. You do need to have proper lighting, and that takes up a bit of space as well. So did you want to address that?
Yeah, so what I'll do is, if we're sticking with this kind of layout, like if you're looking at what we have right over here, this is like the current setup, right? So you have like a desk, you have your desk right over here, and you have a second desk, which is right over here. So
and then the file cabinet over here.
And then the file cabinet over there. So what typically ends up happening is you have a lot of lighting coming from the right above you, right? The pot lights. So what that creates, the pot lights is good for like a general ambiance kind of lighting, but what you want to do is you want to make sure it accents yourself and it lifts you up compared to the background. Right? So a few things you could do. So what I'm going to do is I have a handy little thing right here.
So the thing that happens with lighting from the top, the thing that you want to absolutely know is that it's not very attractive for people looking at you. Because what happens is that your eye sockets actually cast a shadow on your eyes, and the lighting designers call this the hag effect. That's why in the bathrooms you like to be lit on either side and the front if you can manage it. It's not my expression, it's an actual legitimate expression that lighting designers, top worldwide lighting designers use. But it's true, because when you think about it, and then if you actually analyze the effect, you'll start to see that your eye sockets, everything creates a shadow on your face. And so what Najeeb is going to describe as how not to do that.
Yeah. So
how to make yourself look more attractive on Zoom.
So right now, oh, there we go. Okay. This is perfect timing because my Zoom was because my computer was just freezing for a quick second. Okay, so if you imagine this as the source of light, right? You, in terms of space, because you have a lot of shelving or rather table space on this side, a good place is to have the dominant light source on basically to your left. So if you angle that more towards you, and even if it's something as large as a ring light or a larger light source, what it allows you to do is create more of an accent. So if you look at myself right now, I have a large light source just to an arm's length away, that's just to my right. And that's getting like the dominant light, right? And I have a little bit of a backfill that's coming in from a secondary screen, but that's just a secondary source. For yourself, I could see just on your right side, you have that light coming in from I guess, some of that daylight window and some of that incandescent right beside you, right? So you want to have that dominant light source coming in from your left, so it highlights you more and it creates a bit of a shadow. And that creates a bit more drama, but it's not too polarizing at the same time.
It creates a bit more depth. So your face looks like it has dimension as opposed to flat.
And at the same time, what you could also do is, based on what you want to happen for the background, and we can talk about that right after, is you can almost have a strong light behind you, but pointing up. So what it does, it almost creates like a halo effect behind you, and it creates more of a contrast between you and the background. But the background, the light over here in the back that's coming in from the wall, it's pointing up towards the ceiling, it could be your branding colors, right? So that way it's like very simple, it's online with your brand. And if you get something like that's like a multicolored LED, you can change it up based on whatever you feel like it. So for example, right now I have the LED light strips that you might see over here, and that's white. If I want, I can change it to red, I can change it to green, etc. So, but that's just a light strip. But for yourself, if you have like a large light source, it just illuminates behind you and it creates a bit of that drama and creates a bit more interest while still being minimal.
I would think too that you could have one in front and one to the side if that's what you wanted to do. Light yourself from two sides and the front.
Yeah, but that ends up being a bit of a challenge because for Megan, if she has the screens in front, there's already a bit of light source coming from there. So you don't want to have too much light from there, but having a dominant light to her left, that becomes easy, at least from a storage perspective as well. And she can turn it off when it's not in use.
And so in terms of a background, I would suggest if you're going to buy a print or something, have it be abstract that really doesn't convey any figurative representational things. In other words, I wouldn't have an animal or anything like that. So abstract, so that you'll notice that if you ever see famous people photographed, it's always behind a beautiful painting, in front of a beautiful painting that's colorful and somewhat abstract. So you want to have colors that are complementary to you. And avoid, because you just finished saying that as a coach, you want to avoid clutter. I don't think I have a cluttered background. It represents me. So most people have never said it's distracting. Most people love it, but that's neither here nor there. But for you, don't, because of what you've mentioned, don't have anything that's representational, because people get hooked and then they start thinking about the cat, the dog, or whatever's in the picture. It's a nice scene from France, and then before you know it, that's super distracting.
The other thing you could do is behind, if you want to have a bit more storage in terms of your other peripherals, such as, your printer and a few other things. Right now, what I have behind me is these two benches, so which I've actually stacked on top, and I just have basically like these two plants there, right? And these are like fake plants. So you can just kind of put it there. It looks nice, simple,
Yeah.
clean. And that way, if you want, you can have an LED light strip behind me, like I have behind, or you could just leave it as it is and just hang the image or painting or abstract right there. So that becomes simple and it doubles as a secondary storage space underneath for you.
So what Najeeb has to cover the windows is it's textural fabric panel, is it not, Najeeb?
No, so the
Or you
windows
could
right
have
now,
some.
yeah,
Mhm.
so right now, because I'm in quote unquote recording mode for video recording, so all my windows are closed. So I have the blinds that are shut, and I have a large LED ring light, and in front of it, I have a diffuser. So diffuser just makes it a bit softer. You can kind of have that, and you know, for a diffuser, you can spend a couple $100, or you can get a very simple setup. Just use a shower curtain from the dollar store, and that just diffuses the light, and you get that pro kind of quality, and it doesn't have a harsh lighting. Because what ends up happening is if you have that harsh lighting, it looks too dramatic, and you want to come off from your branding. You want to come off as caring for your clients.
Yeah. You don't want to have a lot of strong shadows, like a lot of light dark. I have about 3 different sources of light, but then I'm a different kind of an experience. But if you wanted to have something textural that's a bit sound absorbing as well, and then you could put LED lights around that panel. So back to planning. Do you have any questions with respect to that, Megan?
No. Yeah.
Okay.
These are great suggestions.
So with respect to planning, as I mentioned, there's my pencil. If we can do something like this to clean that up, so that's a nice, yeah. And then you have your great ergonomic chair. And then here you can have your printer and everything. So, what you want to do, I'd also recommend a webcam, by the way, so that you're not dependent on your laptop. Or
good idea.
Some of our friends do things via iPad as well. And then there's different monitor arms and that sort of thing. Quick question, what's this closet thing? It says closet. Sliding door closet.
Yeah, the closet to your
left.
left.
Just a sliding door closet. That's exactly what it is. Oh, and it has a bunch of stuff in it.
Like stuff or clothes or what?
No, stuff. Yeah, like sports equipment, things like that.
Do you find that it's organized to the max? Or could you?
It's full to the max. I know it sounds like we have a lot of stuff, but we don't. It's just like it's all here. It's not in the rest of the house. But yeah, it's pretty full. Because
so right now you have all these shelves. The bike doesn't take up that much room. So as I mentioned, if you have an opportunity to cover that up with drapes or door panels, that would be awesome. So you're looking at something clean, right? Yeah. And then again, if you organize the closet to the max, like with shelving and proper organizational tools, you may be able to put some of this stuff in there, and that would be helpful. If you have an opportunity to minimize the sofa and just have seating, like a nice sofa chair and a table so that you can put your feet up to do some research or whatever. Managing the TV or relocating it or not having it. And then if you wanted to, you could put more shelving over here. I highly recommend low shelving because then you can put pictures and things like that on top. But it would be nice to have everything a lot more cleaned up and a lot more pleasurable to look at. So I'm at the photo with Najeeb, I'm at the photo with the TV. If you can eliminate whatever that is, I guess that's another table. If you can eliminate whatever that is, if you can eliminate whatever that is. If you can just eliminate quite a few things and so that you can clean up the spaces. Or if you absolutely need to do something, then design the something that it needs to be done. So like I said, there's a lot of great organizational solutions out there. Yeah. So you can see how much all that room takes up. Because, again, the bike really, in reality, doesn't take up that. Proportionally speaking, this is probably what you're looking at, right? The shelving, and then the bike is over here. I would really highly recommend even hanging the bike over the sofa. That'd be kind of fun objet d'art to look at. Because another way that you could manage your space, if you wanted to, is to have the desk like this, and then have this as your background, but you would need to put something over the electrical panels, or else you can angle your desk as well so that you can have the corner as a panel, and that lights up differently. Right, Najeeb?
Yeah, that'll definitely be a bit different, but definitely from the background, the electrical panel is something that's going to be the main focal point, right? Because if we look at,
you can cover that up with a piece of artwork or something.
Exactly.
I don't see that as being
the storage cabinet that's just over here, left of your desk. Is that just documents, or is that storage that you need?
It's just documents and stuff.
Okay, so is that something you access consistently, or is it once in? Okay,
maybe like once a month or something.
Okay.
So that's why I'm saying if you buy smaller ones and put them under the desk, then you can relocate this to somewhere else. But right now it looks like a bit of a tombstone, right? Well, no matter which way actually, believe it or not, these are design expressions we use. It looks like a tombstone because it does. It visually looks, again, this is all visual language, right? But it does look like a thing that is like that, right? But that's in the middle of something. And especially if you don't access it that much. And IKEA has a whole bunch of things on casters. I put everything on casters. I have, below this table behind me is 2 file cabinets, another wire shelving, drawers, and then everything beneath me is removable at a drop, and everything is on casters. Yep. Okay. And everything is below the table, and then I can use my vertical space for something else. And then there's a bulletin board behind me. So that's why I like everything kind of at a low plane, and then you can do whatever it is you want. But actually, this thing, if you cut out a bulletin board and then have 2 little things, knobs or whatever, that could be quite fun because you don't need to access it all the time. There's a variety of solutions you can do for that.
That cabinet itself, if you look at the first floor plan, like if you replace this desk, then you can kind of have those smaller filing cabinets underneath the table that you have to your left, right? With this design over here, the good thing is you're going to have lighting coming in from over here, the staircase, right? So the main lighting you would kind of have to be thinking about is just having something that's right to the edge. So if it is a 45-degree angle, then you're going to have lighting from there. Or if it's not, then you can have lighting from over here just to make it easier, since the outlet is right beside over here, right? The one thing to keep in mind with this is that how is the sound in the space in the corner for you?
I've never thought of it, so I guess it's fine.
Okay, so a quick little test that you can do is right now you can just do it. You can just clap and hear the echo that's above and coming to the side.
Okay.
There is a bit of an echo, by the way.
I honestly don't hear like any echo.
Okay, so
it's your clients that would hear this, right? It's not about you because you've got earbuds on anyway. It's about the client's experience. You're very much about the client experience. I thought of another solution. Do you want to hear it, guys?
Yeah, go for it. Go to the 3rd floor plan.
Well, no, this is not a planning solution.
Okay.
I would do a very simple drapery track and put drapes all the way around here. Be nice and soft. again, IKEA has all these things. And then, or else you can even put something back here. And that's an awesome.
Back where?
Back here in the first plan.
Oh, okay. Let me go to the first one.
Your little purple thing there. Yeah. And having a nice sculptured wave, sine wave behind you is also very attractive. You don't need a picture. And then you can, so those things are very easy to install. You don't need to damage a whole bunch of things, but having a nice sine curves all the way around, and that softens everything altogether.
You mean like putting a curtain that is like that like is a bit bunched so that it has like folds in it? Is that what you mean by the sine wave?
Well, there's a drapery system called ripple fold, and on plan, on plan it looks like a sine wave when you install it, the way that they open and close, as opposed to, so that's on plan, and as opposed to what we call pinch pleats curtain. So this would be an elevation of a pinch pleat drape.
Oh, where are you?
I'm above the floor, second floor plan.
Oh,
yeah, just let me know.
Yeah, so pinch pleats look like this. They kind of pool at the bottom. Whereas this is very,
yeah, I'm looking at it online. I see exactly what you mean. Yeah, like it
elevation, it looks very architectural and sculptural. So because it's a sine wave, and that's like super soft. And where its genesis, where it comes from, is actually the track for hospital curtains way back when, and then it got adapted to modern interiors because architects. So the fabric is on a tape, and then it fastens to the grommets. So the tape has grommets and then hooks, whereas pinch pleats, they all have hooks and the drapery track and the whole deal. But ripple fold, again, you're a big IKEA fan. They would have something similar that's easy to install. And the other thing that IKEA has is, I'm drawing an elevation here, is a stand. Pretty sure it's from IKEA, or is it Umbra, is a stand, and then you can hang drapery from it. So it's basically, it's about 6'6", and you can hang drapery from it. It's meant to be a room divider. So, so you can put a screen if you want. Screens usually come in that kind of shape. A decorative screen, a shoji screen, so you can put it behind you. And then you can hide all sorts of sins behind on that wall, and it still looks pretty. Do you know what a shoji screen is? It's a Japanese screen.
No.
A shoji screen is usually black with white rice paper in the grid.
Oh, yeah.
So
yeah.
you've seen it. It's just.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I see what it is.
But any kind of divider or something.
The advantage of using a cushion, a curtain, if you choose to go that route, is from a sound point of view, it becomes a bit better because it absorbs sound. And what we suggested in the previous iteration was if you have that light source coming from behind you, it'll accent and it'll create more of a effect for yourself without being that much more distracting for the audience.
Yeah, but again, you can see Najeeb and I, we have depth to our faces because of the lighting. And that makes all the difference in the world when you're on a Zoom call and you're looking at someone. I've seen a lot of international speakers with bad lighting, or they aim the camera down here and you can see their nose hairs and all sorts of imperfections. And one of them had the webcam at the floor looking up, and all you could see is they're a very thin person, but all you could see is their behind and their thighs. They look not very attractive. So, you know, like I said, fabrics and drapes cover a multitude of sins. They really do. And then if you wanted a screen divider, you could separate the play area from everything else if that's something you wanted to do. But certainly the TV acts as a bit of a black box. If you had your logo on there or something, that'd be fun. A lot of people, have you do you know who Stephen Colbert is? And those talk show hosts?
Yeah.
They have their logo on a TV.
Mm.
So if you wanted to keep it there, James Corden does as well. So they've positioned it quite well. To the side, mind you. And he has, Stephen Colbert has bookshelves and a desk, a nice antique desk that he speaks from. And personally, I don't find it distracting, but again, that's up to you. But the drapery treatment would be really soft, and it would really enhance, with the proper lighting, would really enhance the user experience. Not you as a user, but the viewer experience, I should say.
Cool.
Do you have any questions or? And all of this is available on IKEA online. Just phone. They'll deliver it. They'll install it if you wanted them to. It's like life is easy, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, no, I don't have any questions. Sounds like there's so many areas of improvement, which is great. And yeah.
Or you can try your drapery store. I don't know what part of town you live in, but so some of your stores that would be super awesome, affordable are Umbra, UMBRA.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a location. Their flagship store is Simcoe. I'm on Queen West, by the way. So
we're really close to each other.
Queen West is where they're at. That's like one of my go-to all the time.
Okay.
IKEA, obviously, all the time. But they specialize, Umbra specializes in organizational good-looking tools, like a great bulletin board, everything. And they even have drapes there that you could look at. So all of this is doable. It's just different price points. But so everything can be high-low, but absolutely get an awesome chair. That's where you spend your money. And good lighting, right, Najeeb?
Yeah.
Good lighting. Everything else can be negotiated, but the lighting and a chair, non-negotiable as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. So based on these kind of like options, what are you kind of leaning more towards?
What I'm leaning towards is putting up the curtain for the shelf so that we can hide the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
Getting a new desk, like eliminating the tombstone.
Thank you.
The ring light, I'm like, yeah, okay, I can see how my face looks very flat compared to your guys's. The ring light, when I've seen ring lights, I'm like, they look so harsh. Like, I'm like, I don't want to look at that. Like, it might be great for my clients, but I'm going to be like blinded by the time the day is over. But like, maybe a shower curtain, but then I'm like, my God, that'll look so ugly if I put a shower curtain over a ring light. Like, okay, I think I'm going backwards there.
Or a diffuser. You can do
so you can actually get a diffuser. And the thing is, you don't necessarily need to have it on the whole time, right? Just when you're doing a video call. Right, so that way at least, and there are different types of diffusers. The one that is collapsible, so you can invest in that, and then when you're ready to record, you just open it up and it's good to go.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I don't have a ring light, by the way, so he and I differ in how we manifest good lighting.
Right.
I have a happy light in front of me. I have full spectrum daylight for SAD, and then I have another fluorescent, pink fluorescent over here, and then I have halogen torchère that shines the light up and then bounces down, which is nice and soft. So I seem to manifest myself in the warmer tones, but Najeeb is more color corrected. So there's different ways of doing it, but as long as you can create some depth with your
totally.
And the one thing that to keep kind of have in the back of your mind is that it's ultimately for you're spending the most amount of time there, right? So you want to make sure what you're looking at is not only comfortable, but it's also pleasant to see, right?
Mm-hmm.
So making sure that the lighting is set up, yes, that's important, but at the same time, what are you looking at? Because obviously you're going to be looking at the screens, what's behind the screen as well, right? So you can play with some lighting over there as well. And ultimately have fun with it. Make it your own style, more so.
Yeah, cool. Sounds good.
And labeling everything.
Yeah.
the mouse.
Labeling everything.
Awesome.
Like where everything is?
No, if you're looking at the drapery solutions, I got Rippleful with an
Oh,
arrow.
yeah.
So was this helpful for you, Megan?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely
Awesome.
opened my eyes to the possibilities, and yeah, great.
When do you think you'll be employing some of these solutions?
Well, the new chair today for sure. The rest of it, I'm not sure. Maybe like over the next like month, maybe.
Great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Because we'd really like to have a before and after show for people that choose. I can give you some suggestions as to where to get a chair, by the way, after this.
Okay.
Circle back to it. So again, I don't make any money advertising. I just know where to go. And that's who are my go-to people. But if you choose to do something, please keep us posted.
Yeah.
Even on your journey, and we'd love to circle back in a month or 3 months and get your experience and your journey. That would be so awesome.
Hope you liked this episode of the Home Office for Success series. If you want to find out more about interior design, check out DoloresPian.com. And if you want to know more about team culture, team building, and remote work, check out Teamland.com. If you want to learn more or see more episodes, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and would love it if you liked and commented below. I'd love to know what was your favorite part about this episode. Thanks for watching. See you soon.